Given the scale of the universe, both in space and time, the miracle that is life has had ample opportunity to arise elsewhere. Surely we would have found evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence by now. But we haven't. Giorgio, you were wrong. It has been calculated that in our galaxy alone, there could be upwards of 40 billion Earth-like planets. So where are all the aliens? So, with our best estimates, we have 40 billion Earth-like planets in just the Milky Way. That's a massive 20% of the planets in our galaxy, by the way. But who's to say that a planet needs to be Earth-like to evolve life, or even be a planet at all? Life could evolve on a moon, in the upper atmosphere of a gas giant, in the nutrient-rich haze of a stellar nebula. The possibilities are endless. It seems like science fiction, but just look at some of the weird life we have here on Earth. Extremophiles living at the bottom of our oceans, born, living, and dying, never having tasted even a drop of sunlight. Consuming chemicals pumped from deep within the Earth. Tardigrades, which, as you know, can survive in the vacuum of space. Both the desolate vacuum of space and the hellish darkness of the bottom of our oceans are hardly what you'd think of as Earth-like, and yet life finds a way. Now, adding more places to search for aliens may seem unhelpful, as if it only serves to bloat the search parameters of an already astronomically difficult task. But being able to conceive of, and having real-life examples, of life existing in such places is important. Someone once said that denying the existence of aliens by the lack of evidence is like scooping a glass of water from the ocean, studying it, and saying, "Welp, there are no whales in the ocean." We simply don't have enough data. I don't know if we will ever find aliens, or if they are even out there. I sure hope we do. Maybe if we tried harder, we would. We've actually been in conversation with potential alien intelligence for much longer than you'd think. The first radio broadcast was on Christmas Eve of 1906. A man named Reginald Fessender beamed a Christmas concert to the astonished crews aboard the ships of the United Fruit Company in the Atlantic Ocean and Caribbean Sea. Those radio waves did not stop at those boats, however. They kept going, as radio waves do. They traveled outward, away from Earth, at the speed of light. Since the recording of this YouTube video, that broadcast has reached a distance of 117 light-years away from Earth. And it's still going, with every other sufficiently powerful radio and TV broadcast since 1906 following behind. There's quite a few stars within 117 light-years of us. Now, these aren't direct messages to aliens, of course, just an accidental byproduct of our communication and entertainment technologies. But we have sent out messages with the explicit intent to hear back from aliens. We're making a lot of noise here, so why haven't we heard back? Well, maybe we aren't making enough noise. Maybe we have been heard and a message is on its way back. Maybe they don't want to respond. Maybe they are further away and our messages simply haven't had enough time to reach them yet. Maybe they weren't listening when our messages passed through their planet. Or maybe sending messages isn't the best way to go about this. If our only goal is to find aliens, and not communicate back, which may be a good idea for a wide range of reasons, then simply listening and waiting may be our best option. There are a few locations around the world which currently are just listening, and quite a few strange signals have been received, the most notorious of which being the WOW signal of 1977. Listen to this. Some have dismissed, or I guess hypothesized, that the signal was nothing more than an Earth signal bouncing off some space debris and returning back to us. Among some other theories, that it was, to use some super science-y words, just some weird space noises, but not aliens. The signal remains unexplained to this day. The significance of the WOW signal lies on its striking similarity to the frequencies that we use on Earth for radio communication. And although it had no detectable modulation, which is a technique that we use here when transmitting information over radio waves, you can't discredit that everything else about it is eerily unnatural. But what is unnatural? A lot of natural phenomenon can be sources of radio or other forms of signals within the entirety of the electromagnetic spectrum. Stars, black holes, and planets all emit noise. Here, listen to some of them. Spooky, but not what we're looking for. Something incredibly unlikely would be a natural phenomenon sending out a signal interpretable as the prime numbers in order, or the digits of pi. A sufficiently advanced civilization looking to meet others would probably send out such signals, a definitive sign that says, life is here. But if the WOW signal is any indication, there may still be skepticism, even in such an extreme case like hearing pi come directly from a distant star. So listening may too be inefficient in our quest for finding aliens. It may also be dangerous. You could imagine an alien civilization sending signals containing viruses, designed to cripple any listener's technology. The cosmic equivalent of clicking on one of those sketchy ads on Pornhub. There's a lot of what-ifs, but one thing is for certain, and it may seem unrelated, but over 4 billion years, life has drastically changed the Earth. I finally finished Shushenlu's The Three Body Problem trilogy, and something that stuck out to me in the final book, Death's End. Spoilers, so skip ahead exactly
30 seconds
if you plan to read it. In the book, it is revealed that the universe used to be 10-dimensional, rather than the 3-dimensional space that we see today. That through warfare, the universe had been collapsing dimension by dimension, until eventually the entire universe will collapse into nothingness. Life, like it had on Earth, had fundamentally changed the universe. It had made nature unnatural. Now, this is science fiction, of course, but it could indicate a very powerful method for discovering alien life. We'd have to look at how life has changed the Earth, and then apply that principle to the greater universe. Let's briefly take a look at what the early Earth looked like. Okay, now let's introduce life into the early Earth. Quite a drastic transformation, and that was the work of only simple forms of life. Humanity, with all of its technological progress, has changed the composition of the Earth's atmosphere. Methane may be the first detectable sign of alien life. This is because methane is, air quotes, unnatural. Without factories or farts to replenish the atmosphere's methane, due to its highly volatile nature, it would quickly diminish. So, if we were to detect methane in a distant world's atmosphere, which we can through a method called transit spectroscopy, it would raise an instant red flag. And finally, if some hypothetical instance of alien intelligence were to reach a technological stage where they could start constructing megastructures, a Dyson sphere or Dyson swarm, for example, such a structure would stand out like a candle in the dark, or rather the dark in a candle. Remember when everyone freaked out and thought that a Dyson sphere was being constructed around Tabby's star? back in 2017. The light from Tabby's star started fluctuating back then, dimming to unnatural levels, then brightening back up again, faster than it should have. One explanation is that an alien Dyson swarm's materials partially blocked the light from reaching us, the starlight flickering between the gaps in its construction. But it's probably just some totally reasonable explanation, like the debris from a planet being ripped apart, as they do. If the star suddenly went completely dark, with no supernova or other natural explanation, I think it would have been an instant guarantee that it was aliens, but that didn't happen. This may still be a powerful method in our search for extraterrestrial intelligence, however. We just have to find their construction projects. Again, I don't know for certain if there are intelligent aliens out there. I'm not sure anyone can say for certain if there is or isn't. And I truly hope that we do one day find some, and make friends with them. Why? Because such an event would fundamentally change mankind's trajectory for the better, no matter which way contact goes. I'll make a video on why meeting aliens is so important soon enough. So be sure to subscribe and click the bell button to be notified when I do. We are still in our infancy as a species, just barely taking our first steps into space, and whatever our future holds, it will come in due time. So in the meantime, we need to be patient, cautious, and take care of one another. I'll see you soon, okay?